Some games are so immersive that you sit down planning to play for 1 hour, and suddenly it's 3 in the morning. These are the games that completely absorb your attention and make time disappear. Today we're looking at games players constantly lose themselves in. Some are relaxing, some are creative, and some are dangerously addictive because there's always one more thing to do before logging off. Stardew Valley looks simple at first, but it quickly becomes impossible to stop playing. The game constantly gives players small goals to complete, like upgrading crops, expanding farms, fishing, mining, or improving relationships with villagers. Every day inside the game feels productive, which creates a loop where players always want to continue for just one more day. Before long, players accidentally spend hundreds of hours building their perfect farm. Skyrim became legendary because players constantly get distracted from the main story. Most players start with a simple objective, then suddenly discover random caves, side quests, dragons, hidden weapons, or strange NPC interactions. The world constantly rewards exploration, which makes wandering around incredibly addictive. Even years later, players still discover things they missed. Factorio is basically digital addiction disguised as automation. Players begin with small factories and simple conveyor belts, but eventually create massive industrial systems producing enormous amounts of resources automatically. The game constantly creates optimization problems players want to solve, and once players start improving efficiency, it becomes incredibly difficult to stop expanding the factory. No Man's Sky became one of the most relaxing exploration games ever made after years of updates. Players can spend hours exploring strange planets, building giant space bases, collecting ships, or discovering unusual creatures. Because the universe feels almost infinite, there's always another planet worth exploring. The game becomes especially addictive once players settle into its exploration loop. Minecraft continues dominating gaming because players create their own goals instead of following strict objectives. Some players focus on building giant cities, while others automate farms, explore caves, or survive hardcore mode. The freedom creates endless replayability because every world becomes unique. Civilization is famous for creating the one more turn problem. Players constantly continue playing because every turn reveals something new, like wars, technologies, discoveries, or diplomatic situations. Hours disappear incredibly fast because the pacing feels rewarding and strategic. And once civilizations begin expanding, players become emotionally invested in their empire surviving. RimWorld creates incredible stories naturally through its colony simulation systems. Players manage survivors while dealing with raids, disasters, disease, resource shortages, and random events. No two colonies ever play out exactly the same, which makes every playthrough memorable. The game constantly creates chaos players must adapt to, making it incredibly addictive. Terraria combines exploration, combat, building, crafting, and progression extremely well. Players constantly discover better equipment, hidden areas, bosses, and resources while expanding their world. The progression system keeps players hooked because there's always another upgrade to chase. And despite looking simple visually, Terraria contains enormous amounts of content. Satisfactory turns factory building into a relaxing obsession. Players slowly build giant automated systems covering massive areas while optimizing efficiency and production lines. Watching huge machines operate successfully becomes weirdly satisfying. The game also rewards creativity because players can design factories however they want. Oxygen Not Included looks cute, but it becomes extremely complex once players begin managing large colonies. Players must carefully balance oxygen, food, plumbing, temperature, electricity, and resource systems to keep colonies alive. Small mistakes can completely destroy progress, which creates constant tension and problem solving. And once players understand the systems, the game becomes incredibly difficult to stop playing. The most addictive games aren't always the flashiest or most realistic. Usually they're the games that constantly give players new goals, discoveries, and reasons to keep playing just a little longer. What game completely destroyed your sleep schedule? Comment it below. And subscribe for more gaming content like this.